I'm just here to present some research that I'm doing over at Prooflab. My name, UNC. Oh, picture. There we go. I'm Connor. I'm the lead researcher at Prooflab. And that's, so I'm wearing the same hat, so you got, it's me. We're going to talk about a couple things here. Till to costs. We're going to dig into exactly what the research is doing. We're going to talk about proof or killers. What are those? And we're talking about building anti-fragile systems. Basically, the core issue here is there's a difference between what is going on in the Ethereum virtual machine and what's going on in the zero-knowledge grouper. So what we're going to talk about first is what is the EVM. Basically, the EVM it's a computer, and you can express it as a computer program. We just heard Alice talk at length about what is a zero-knowledge virtual machine. All you really need to worry about for this presentation here is Ethereum virtual machine goes in one side, proof comes out the other side. Makes sense? Everyone does this a little bit differently, and as a result, there's a lot of inconsistencies and efficiencies that occur based on exactly how the zero-knowledge prover is built. There's a hidden disparity here in terms of the gas cost of execution on chain and the actual ZK circuit complexity that results from the competition. Just for example, there's this opcode inside of the EVM called muddy.xp, costs 200 gas, and it results in about 200,000 of cycles in the SQ1 zkVM, which is what I mostly use for research. 1000x multiplier here, and if you're kind of doing math in your head, like, this could be a problem. As zero-knowledge infrastructure is projecting an increasing amount of value, we talk about billions of dollars here, it's really important that the sort of gas cost of the computation matches up with the actual, efficiency of the program that's running. So the ZKarnage project here is a live mainnet stress testing initiative. We received a grant from the Ethereum Foundation to sort of do this. And the idea here is to break up what bad guys do. We've got a paper coming out, I think, so of August, that discusses an actual practical attack that has been accepted at a couple layer 2s here. And I can't talk about it too much, but it'll be out in August. You can follow us on Twitter, and we'll talk about them. ZKarnage specifically is targeting ETH-proof blocks. So there's a bunch of different zero-knowledge shops that are approving mainnet blocks on a regular basis, and we're going to be submitting malicious transactions that are designed to stress them out to the point of ideally failure. Basically, this is a permissionless network. We're not doing anything, overtly bad. It's all sort of in bounds in terms of what the Ethereum virtual machine can do. So why do some operations make zero-knowledge proofers cry? Basically, gas prices are designed for CPU native execution, and really were not built in mind with zero-knowledge proving. So as a result, there's this disparity between sort of native hardware and the actual underlying constraint system and its zero-knowledge prover. One great example is the IP 7883, which is a proposal to increase the muddy.xp gas cost 10x to sort of deal with this particular issue. And yeah, this basically ends up being a tax on zero-knowledge proving. And it's in venture capital sort of subsidizing eating this cost right now, which I think is really interesting. And it's going to come to my head sometime in the next year or two.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Stop you anytime. Happy to answer questions.
So just on the last slide, so was the 7883 supposed to get rid of the subsidy? Is that what it's designed to do?
No, it just raises the gas price. So you can't literally grief the network cost dollars. Gotcha.
And so how are they going to sort out that venture capital is like currently subsidizing this? Because that's not going to run forever. Eventually that money will run out.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. And the game theory would sort of say that bad actors might end up stopping some blockchains sometime in the future.
like on Ethereum, or
Definitely not Ethereum. Like Ethereum's, it doesn't have like the zero knowledge proof built in right now. So there's no like the point at which a proof of a previous block has to be produced to produce the next block. That's when this sort of liveness attack becomes a problem. Yeah, and that's literally what the ETH proofs initiative is for, is to sort of test all these different varying implementations of zero knowledge EVM and sort of see how it, sort of operates in an average case. And ZKarnage is built specially to test that worst case scenario.
So does that imply that there could be a lagus attack against production ZK L2s right now?
That does indeed imply that, I would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aren't like cycles not all equivalent to gas, but gases are artificially constrained and cycles are limitless?
That's the hidden disparity here. So the amount of like wall clock time it takes to prove a relatively inexpensive operation, there's time in there.
North?
Yeah. I had a couple more of those here. So we got like Hollow Shame worst offenders. Basically benchmarked a particular zkVM and to sort of test. This is all when we get every file out of life, so I'm take a picture of this, but it's being published. There's a bunch of different ways you can exploit these various opcodes to produce sort of blow up a perfect time. So the MyESP is one that I've talked about. Jump tests about code size is pretty fun. You get a max size smart contract, and then just check how big it is repeatedly over and over again, and it costs the brute per brick. Any questions about that? Ghost up. So what are prover killers? I think you can kind of maybe see where this is building up to. If there exists these sort of opcodes that result in worst case scenario behavior, we can abuse them to get really sort of prover killer blocks is what I'm calling them. So we built a Swann contract that is deployable on chain. It's written in Null, which is basically as close to assembly as you can get. And gives us maximum control of the EVM execution. We had a problem with the compiler. The compiler was designed to optimize away a lot of this stuff, but we don't want to let it do that. So we're actually just producing completely raw transactions. It's got a single function interface. It's got a bunch of different attack handlers. And then it basically runs in a loop until the gas threshold is reached, and then the transaction is down. So that's how it's designed. Go ahead.
When you say like cycles per gas, is that cycle on a RISC-V CPU?
Yes, exactly. So it's not a RISC-V CPU. It's a virtualized, RISC-V, or RISC-V MIPS, or, not really making any assertions about the actual underlying architecture.
Is there any assertions on the ISA?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So the idea here is there a disparity between how much I paid, maybe US dollar denominated, and the amount of wall clock time it took? And generally, there's a linear relationship between cycles. So this is an example of the Ketchak hash attack. These are pretty basic, but when you kind of build them up, it ends up in a bad thing. So I think that's why this is particularly cool. Basically, we hash something in memory, do it a bunch of times, and then return. It's it. When you run this inside of the actual ZK EVM, that's when bad things happen. So what are we doing here? Basically, we got an Ethereum Foundation grant. We're going to target roughly every 1,000 blocks. The reason for that is because a lot of zero knowledge provers are proving every 100 blocks on Ethereum. Grant money only goes so far. It's kind of a bull market right now, so we're trying to get this going over a period of time so we can get one more zero knowledge provers on one. There's only like 5 or 6, and of 20, maybe 30 zkVMs out there in the wild. And then we're doing data collect for the ETH proofs. This is a collaboration with the ETH proofs initiative, and kind of ETH proofs that we took it out, and we're going to be doing economic impact analysis. So the idea here is to extrapolate as, this layer 2 could be halted. How are we going to do that? What is the economic data as a result? So the whole point of this is not to just like dump on people on Twitter, although it's pretty fun. The point of this is to sort of get the ecosystem moving in the direction of building anti-fragile systems. The point of this is not to break the financial system that we all hope and believe is going to be the sort of next financial revolution. So the immediate wins as a result of this, we're going to identify bottlenecks in hopefully various zkVM implementations or zkVM implementations. We're going to be looking at where to ideally focus. Maybe it's the memory argument, maybe it's the execution traces, maybe it's actual execution emulation. There's a bunch of different places you can sort of look at and identify as a potential problem. Also provide information for teams for competitive analysis. So which zkVM should I use? I don't know. That's kind of up to you, and it's based on your particular use case. And then obviously we need to change your gas schedule because things are kind of mispriced right now. This is sort of something that touches everything in the ecosystem. So the idea here is ETH proofs is an good benchmark in the standard for, testing a real world use case of proving Ethereum blocks, which I think is pretty great. There's going to be a public data set of all these blocks, so you can come back and sort of prove historical blocks and, test in the areas and go. Obviously monitoring infrastructure is going to be just useful and going because we're proving these indefinitely here. And then sort of, like I mentioned before, the zkNuve gas model, attack resistor buildups, and stronger foundation curve weight. So this is the fun part. You can look at the code. It's all online. Find us on Twitter because we love to, participate in the ecosystem. And happy to answer any more questions if you got. Go to you.
Who has questions? We got a minute or two.
And if you have a particular question, I got 2 more hats, so come ask me. I'll be in the back.
Ooh, we should get hats. We get questions. Gotcha. Maybe. Anybody asked if you during the session? Yeah, sure. It's good. I'm back.
So I'm curious on the basically what's the best way for us to get involved in your organization? You said there were only 6 people actually.
Yeah. So right through Ethereum network, is this something that we can use off to laptops or like how? So how we get involved?
ETH Proofs is an industry initiative where the organizations that are building zero knowledge infrastructure can submit proofs to the Ethereum Foundation for sort of safekeeping and observability. If you want to get involved with Prooflab, we're calling it a research collective right now. Follow me on Twitter, slide in my DMs. I'd be happy to put you on something.
Sign without red?
Yeah.
So when you mentioned the native gas token, is that something that is a token that already exists, or what? Like, is it a particular token that you're going to use, or is it like something new?
I think I was just referencing the gas schedule. So like the amount of ether or whatever the native token is that it costs to submit a transaction. So yeah, no new tokens here. No token.
And
What college shit? Shiny.
whitelist, early access for people who attend it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Give it up.